really just excited to get out there on the field, compete, and play with the guys who we put a lot of work in, and excited for the opportunity and very humbled for it.
What was the conversation like? What was the conversation like with Brian when he told you it's job's yours?
I'm gonna keep that kind of between us, the details of it, but obviously just for me, I'm thankful for the opportunity. I feel like I've worked hard and prepared, so I'm just excited to get out there on the field and try to execute this offense to the best of my ability. And there's just a bunch of real professionals around here, so it's been really appreciated for mine, and even for Russ. Like, he's just somebody that I really look up to, and he's handled it great. So just the interactions between us since. So I think it just says a lot about him as a person.
Who was the first person you shared the information with? Who'd you call?
It was probably my mom and my dad. My dad was actually out here, just hanging out at the house, and my mom was back home. So just got him on a little FaceTime call.
When did you find out?
I found out yesterday morning.
And what did it mean? So, what was your emotion right after being told?
I'm ready. So it wasn't anything extra. It was really just now I feel like it's you always try to say like I'm gonna prepare each week the same, but in all reality you have different responsibilities as the starter. So I'm just locked in. Can you say that one more time? Sorry.
What ways have you evolved or grown within your game and your skills to know that you're prepared when you got here to now?
Yeah, I just feel like, first of all, credit to the coaches, their development with me and growing my knowledge on the ins and outs of the game, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and being able to understand tendencies and how to exploit those tendencies. So I think from a knowledge standpoint, I've grown a ton. Also credit to the guys in my room who have been a huge help to me and have shared a lot of wisdom, and those are guys where I'm watching daily and trying to learn from them. So I've grown a lot in that side of things, and I think that just kind of this scheme involved in the game plan is really suitable to my abilities, and I'm just excited for the opportunity.
Jaxson, what do you hope to bring to a team that's 0-3 and could really use a shot of enthusiasm here?
Yeah, I think that first of all, we just got to continue to keep the main thing process-wise. Everybody throughout a season is going to face adversity, so I think for us it's going to show what kind of grit we have as a team, character-wise. How do we handle when we punch, when we're down, how are you going to respond to that? And I think the biggest thing for me is I want to do my best to be a spark. I want to create excitement on the field. I want to be explosive when opportunities are there, and try to just bring a little bit of swagger.
You didn't spend that much time, Jaxson, with the start. You rotated in.
Yeah.
There wasn't a ton of time in training camp stuff with the starters. So how much extra work do you have to do this week after practice with certain guys to get on the same page as now the dudes who you're going to be throwing to the majority of the game?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of extra meetings that we hold just as players, and being able to see plays the same way, from the same lens, and just understand kind of just the feel of space. And I think that's, like I said, it's just a different responsibility now. Is for me being the starter is. Like you said, I haven't got a ton of reps with those guys, so the times where we're able to get just routes on air, being able to just have discussions are very valuable.
Jaxson, on draft night, you had a call with Dable, and he ended it by saying, "I'm banking on you," and now everybody knows he's banking on you. You're all agreed to maybe save his job. Is that something that enters your mind at all? Like, you got the pressure of doing it for your coach?
I don't really feel pressure. I feel like pressure is given to those who play at a high level, and the best players in the world are the ones that you are kind of involved with that word pressure. So I don't feel it in that standpoint. My focus is just trying to win one game at a time, and we've been so close each week, and it's been tough to watch. It's been tough as a team to come back in the locker room when like I said, when you're just that close to winning. So our focus just has to be on each day, each rep, individually. How can we, be better? How can we hold each other accountable as players, as leaders of the team, and just find a way to just finish games when we need to.
Jaxson, how different is it for you to know that all eyes in your offensive meeting room and really in the team meeting room are now going to be on you? I know you had the attention, I know you wanted the respect of everybody in the room, but now you are the guy that they will look to lift them up.
Yeah, you just got to make sure that you're prepared every day because just the questions and the situations that are being put on the quarterback. When you're watching film, you got to know exactly what you're talking about. You got to be on your shit, point blank period. So, I think for me, I'm just trying to be prepared each and every day, and I think that my study habits and having those extra meetings are going to put me in a good position to be confident when I'm in those meetings, when I'm on the field, making checks, whatever it may be. That way I can just play fast and the guys can have a lot of confidence in me.
Jaxson, because of where you're drafted, the position you play, the state of this team right now, you are going to be looked at as the savior. You're going to be that face. Is that something that you welcome, or do you try to not make much of that at all and just try to be one of 11?
I just try to be the best teammate that I can be. I don't want to look at it that way. That word or that phrase doesn't really go in my head. I feel like as a unit on the field, especially as an offense, like everybody has to be in sync. So there can't just be attention on one guy to carry the the load of everything. It's got to be collectively as a unit. And when we watch games back, like there's just a few mistakes that if we just correct as a team, as an offense, games could be completely different. So. That's our focus. My focus is on the guys and on the players around me. It has nothing to do with myself. So, that's the approach I'm gonna take.
Jaxson, I'm surprised you really haven't taken that many reps within a week.
Yeah.
And now you lose another day today with him not playing. How do you get on the same page with your top weapon, top receiver this quickly for your first start?
Well, I think that when you have a guy that's as elite as him, you're definitely able to make up that ground a little bit quicker because a lot of times, he's going to make me right, based on my throw just because of his skill set and his ability. But I would say, the biggest thing is like when I was, the backup and taking reps behind, like I was constantly trying to do my footwork on each progression, each play, and trying to time up with those guys' routes. So I kind of have that, in my mental bank of, just the timing and, kind of the depths. I've also seen him play a ton, and then saw him cook my team in college. So I just know his ability, and I know that if there's 50-50 balls or him one-on-one or different situations, I have all the confidence in the world to get him the ball.
Jaxson, what's your message to a frustrated fan base about what you're going to bring as the starter for this team?
I'm just going to lay everything I have on the line. That's just the way that I play the game. When I step in between those lines, nothing else in the world matters to me except doing everything that I can to win it. So, whatever rep that is in practice, whatever competition it may be, I just feel like I'm a competitor. So, whatever I got to do, prepared for the week, when I'm on the field to do the win, I'm going to give it my all to do that.
What does it mean to you that with Daboll's back against the wall, he's decided the solution is you? Like he showed the faith in you to draft you, to trade up for you, and now he's calling on you when he needs you most. Like what is that? How does that make you feel as a player?
I definitely, as a player, when you know that your coach has confidence in you, it means a lot because you know that you can trust them and they can trust you. And I know that every day that I come out here, every day that I step into the facility, he's going to give his all for me, and I'm going to do it the exact same way. So, I'm excited to get out there on the field. Excited to be, take another step, with this team and do everything that we can to win games.
Jaxson.